ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो नमः, ऋषिभ्यो नमः, मुनिभ्यो नमः, गुरुभ्यो नमः, देवताभ्यो नमः, परब्रह्मणे नमः, श्रुतिमात्रे नमः, वेदव्यासमहर्षये नमः, वैशम्पायनमहर्षये नमः, याज्ञवल्क्यमहर्षये नमः, आद्यशङ्करमहर्षये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। पारायणं तृतीया भृगुवल्ली for 2 minutes. ॐ अथ तृतीया भृगुवल्ली। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। भृगुर्वैवारुणिः वरुणं पितरमुपससार अधीः भगवो ब्रह्मेति तस्मा एतत्प्रोवाच अन्नं प्राणं चक्षुश्रोत्रं मनोवाचमिति तगुंहोवाच यतो वा इमानि भूतानि जायन्ते येन जातानि जीवन्ति यत्प्रयन्त्यपि संविशन्ति तद्विजिज्ञासस्व तद्ब्रह्मेति सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा अन्नं ब्रह्मेति व्यजानात्। अन्नाद्येव खल्विमानि भूतानि जायन्ते अन्नेन जातानि जीवन्ति अन्नं प्रयन्त्यपि संविशन्तीति तद्विज्ञाय पुनरेव वरुणं पितरमुपससार अधीः भगवो ब्रह्मेति तगुंहोवाच तपसा ब्रह्म विजिज्ञासस्व तपो ब्रह्मेति सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा प्राणो ब्रह्मेति व्यजानात्। प्राणाद्येव खल्विमानि भूतानि जायन्ते प्राणेन जातानि जीवन्ति प्राणं प्रयन्त्यपि संविशन्तीति तद्विज्ञाय पुनरेव वरुणं पितरमुपससार अधीः भगवो ब्रह्मेति तगुंहोवाच तपसा ब्रह्म विजिज्ञासस्व तपो ब्रह्मेति सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा मनो ब्रह्मेति व्यजानात्। मनसो ह्येव खल्विमानि भूतानि जायन्ते मनसा जातानि जीवन्ति मनः प्रयन्त्यपि संविशन्तीति तद्विज्ञाय पुनरेव वरुणं पितरमुपससार अधीः भगवो ब्रह्मेति तगुंहोवाच तपसा ब्रह्म विजिज्ञासस्व तपो ब्रह्मेति सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा विज्ञानं ब्रह्मेति व्यजानात्। विज्ञानाद्येव खल्विमानि भूतानि जायन्ते विज्ञानेन जातानि जीवन्ति विज्ञानं प्रयन्त्यपि संविशन्तीति तद्विज्ञाय पुनरेव वरुणं पितरमुपससार अधीः भगवो ब्रह्मेति तगुंहोवाच तपसा ब्रह्म विजिज्ञासस्व तपो ब्रह्मेति सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा आनन्दो ब्रह्मेति व्यजानात् आनन्दाद्येव कल्विमानि भूतानि जायन्ते आनन्देन जातानि जीवन्ते आनन्दं प्रयन्त्यभिसंविशन्तीति सैषा भार्गवी वारुणी विद्या परमे व्योमन् प्रतिष्ठिता य एवं वेद प्रतितिष्ठति अन्नवानन्नादो भवते महान् भवति प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसेन महान् कीर्त्या ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओमद श्रीकृष्ण यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते अथ प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवदो तद्भक्तारमवदो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ पञ्चमोऽनुवाकः व्याहृति उपासना मन्त्राः. Chant the fifth Anuvaka which we have done. Om Bhurvuvah Suvariti Va Etastisro Vyahritayah Tasamuhasmaitam Chaturthem Mahachamasya Pravedayate Mah iti Tad Brahma Sa Atma Anganyanya Devataah Bhuriti Va Ayam Lokah भुव इत्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः मह इत्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते भूरिति वा अग्निः भुव इति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः मह इति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिगंसि महीयन्ते भूरिति वा रुजः भुव इति सामाने सुवरिति यजोगंशे मह इति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मणा वाव सर्वे वेदा महीयन्ते भूरिति वै प्राणः भुव इत्यपानः सुवरिति व्यानः मह इत्यन्नम् अन्नेन वाव सर्वे प्राणा महीयन्ते तावा एताश्चतस्रश्चतुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेद ब्रह्म सर्वेऽस्मै देवा बलिमावहन्ते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. It is by continuous prayers of ours, grace of the God and the Rishi Parampara, that we will be growing in our spiritual sadhana. Spiritual sadhana depends on our clarity of understanding. The clarity of understanding depends on our regularity, sincerity of our attending the satsanga and studying the shastra. That depends on our antakarana purity, All that depends on how much we have detached from the world by fulfilling our responsibilities and by not expecting or demanding anything from the world. All this understanding practically put together is called as spiritual sadhana. And all these will come to our understanding and conviction slowly and steadily when we are on the path regularly with the conviction and decision that I am no more a samsari pursuing the outer things. I am a sadhaka now pursuing the inner things. Now, in this fifth Anuvaka, we have done the Vyahruti Upasana. The Vyahruti Upasana is that one where we have seen the three and tried to see the fourth one. The attention, which was earlier only on the three, now we try to make the attention on the fourth. The one which is a support and substratum of the three. And that is once you reach it, Maha, that itself is Brahma and that is Atma. Actually, in the Saptalokas also, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, then comes Maha, then Janaha, then Tapaha, then Satyaloka. That's called the Sapta Urdhaloka Saptakam. So that is Loka Saptakam. You can relate that trend is here, but then same time Maha is something greater, something bigger, something higher, something substratum, something unchangeable, something which is a cause, something from which the other three come, they stay, they go in. Okay. Now we said it very superficially at this level of our stamina in our antakarana to deeply analyze and contemplate because we have just begun our sadhana. Actually, in this upasana of the Vyaharutis, in fact, each of the set of the four have to be taken and we have to do the inner upasana exercise for lot of time until the conviction come in the form of experience in every aspect of it. Like Bhuritiva Ayam Lokaha, Bhavarityantariksam, Svarityasau Lokaha, Mahaityadityaha, Adityena Bhava Sarve Loka, Mahiyante. This is the one set of the inner set of four Vyahrutis and their Upasana. But here, the Bhuritiva Ayam Lokaha, first of all, we have to thoroughly become aware of everything that is there in this Ayam Lokaha. In this world, what are there? The Khanda, Khandantara, Nadi, all of them. Then the human beings are there, the Deha are there, and the interactions are happening. The entire I am Loka, first we have to become detachedly aware of. That is what a long of time we have to do sadhana. We have only got information. Only information, nothing about the details, nor about the initiation of sadhana, nor about mastering that sadhana. What is the meaning of Ayam Lokaha? First, you have to become very clear aware. And that is the Bhuhu Vyahruti, the first Vyahruti. That connection between the Bhuhu Vyahruti and Ayam Loka, we have to always maintain. Then we go to the second loka, Bhuvaha iti antariksham. The antariksha loka we have to become aware of. Where below the Surya, below the Swarga, up to that is Surya Mandala, Nakshatra Mandala, Graha Mandala, Taraka Mandala, then Chandra Mandala, then the Loka Mandala, all of that, and all the lokas that are there in between now, Yaksha Kindara Kempurusha Siddha Charana, we have to become aware of it. With our narrow minds are so busy in making our breakfast and lunch, how can we lift ourselves to that? But that is what the Upasana is all about. That is why we are only the information. Heavy dose of information also will be heavy for us, we may run away. Therefore, whatever is available, able to be received in this life or in this transaction, interaction, that much only is given. But all this includes the Upasana. After becoming aware of the entire world of Antariksha Loka, then we say it is the Bhuvaha Vyahruti Upasana. Then, after doing it for certain time, then only go to the third. Toward the end of the this mantra Bhashya, Bhagavan clearly said, why it is said again and again like that? Because in that way only we have to do the upasana. You cannot do it other way. Tasam yatha kruptanam punah punah tatha eva upasana niyamartha. So it was repeatedly said only to insist that in that way only you have to do the upasana. And at that time, what will happen? The entire I am loka we are aware, and we are also aware that this is nothing but the bhuhu vyahunti. So entire world of names and forms and grass world, total that we call it as only bhuva. Bhuvu. The bhuvu expanded is the entire world. I am loka. That conviction we have to establish it. To such an extent that when we have to live in the bhuloka, we live with all the formal transactions required. But when the essence of all of that is discussed about, truth of all of that is discussed about, reality of all of that is discussed about, only in one word we should be able to conclude that all is nothing but bhuvaha, bhuhu, sorry. Like I talk for 2 hours. In that, hundreds of words are used, hundreds of sentences are made. So much of the thought process has gone. But conclusively, if we ask what has been done in last through 2 hours, through all the speeches, some sounds have come out. That's it. Actually, through that sounds, whatever is conveyed, that is Vyavahara. But only the शब्द ही तो था सब कुछ. चाहे हिंदी में बोले, इंग्लिश में बोले, संस्कृत में बोले, in whatever, what was that? It's all can be summarized only as words. Is it not? Throughout the day, you went so many places for so much of work. From the legs standpoint, movement standpoint, what did you do the whole day? Just walking. बाएं दाएं पाँव को घुमाया बस. As a consequence of it, this body has traveled so many places. That is secondary. Is it not? 15, 20 minutes we have eaten so many things. Chapati, pulka khaya, chawal khaya, sab khaya. So much we ate. So, but the only thing is what? The thing you put it in the mouth, that's all. We should be able to know the activities that are happening in an expanded manner in the entire world. We should also have the ability to sum up them. In short, that is called as the upasana there. So 3 hours of movie, you have gone through all the scenes. But what has happened? It's a movie on the screen. That's all. Huge dream has come up. All tragedies, all comedies. But when you wake up, what it is? Only it's a dream. So to a person when dies, then his photo is made. In that photo, a mala is put and नीचे एक date होता है. जननम 2010, मरणम 2000 नहीं 2010 नहीं 1910 then मरणम 2010 100 साल जिया. That's it. In between जो हुआ 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 नहीं तो नहीं हुआ. But this is a simple thing. A Raja, 25 years he ruled the kingdom. And in that he might have done many things. But thing is, he ruled the kingdom. That's it. So to become I am aware of this entire I am loka, transact, interact, but observe all of them. Conclusion is all of that is nothing but bhu. When you do this, what will happen? In the Vyavahara, we are involving in I am lokaha. But conclusively, it is as simple as bhuhu. Thus, the effect of the entire Vyavahara has not created any dent in our mind in the form of any extra importance given to it. Because we have to discover the self in which all of these are not there. So for that, this is a upasana. Bhuridiva, that is what Upanishad said. Bhuridiva, I am loka. उतना ही कहा. हम कह रहे हैं कि इस लोक में इतने चीजें हैं, ऑब्जर्व करो भाई. Because we are in this dynamic world now, so many happenings. But all of that put together is only bhu. See, 16, 17 years we are in schools and colleges. What happened out of some education is given, that's all that. So that way, bhu loka, I am loka. Bhu vyavruti, I am loka. So to Bhuvaha, the entire world of mm, Antariksha, we become aware. And that Antariksha is the subtle world, we can say. And that is to be become aware of all of that we attribute that everything is Bhuva only. Clear? So to become I am Loka. I am Loka is beyond the Sukshma Loka of the Manavudi Chittahankara Ityadi working, even the Pranas working, Indriyas working, they are all in the intermediate world of Antariksha. Beyond that, there is Svar Loka, who are the ones who are empowering all the faculties to work, their dynamism, their powers, their continuous presence, becoming aware of all these Shannomitra Samvaruna Adhisthana Devatas. They have come from the Suvarlok. It is their Anugraha because of which the Bhuvarlokas Antakarana worked and the Bhulokas they have worked as well as the whole dynamism in the world that is happening. This is how each of them we become aware of it, each of the one we attribute to each of the Vyahrutis, and there also, like we did in the Pranava Upasana in the Mandukya Upanishad, we must be very clear. The Bhuhu Vyahruti came from Bhuvaha, Bhuvaha Vyahruti came from Suvaha. Then the Mahachamasya thought, where from the Suva came, he understood there is something beyond other than that, then he named it as Mahaha. In the same way, the entire gross world has come from the subtle world. We must understand. In that understanding, the importance of the gross world should be dissolved in giving importance to the subtle world. That is Upasana. What's happening now? We are given interest so much to the gross world that we are not able to go to the cause of it called subtle world. Because of that only, we are not able to go beyond called as the causal world. And because of we caught up only in these three, he is called as Jiva, who is caught up only in these three worlds of Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Sura and Sukshma and Karana. The fourth one we are not able to see, the Mahaha, that is called the entire universal happening of Sula Sukshma Karana, which is happening in that Brahma, in that Virat Purusha. Remember, whenever these words are used, the Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, Virat Purusha, you have to be very subtle enough to catch both. Brahma, when it is called, it is Parabrahma also. Because in his Satta Chit only everything is happening. They were using the word Brahma for Parabrahma also is right. But you have to be seeing the context, in which context it is spoken. Brahma also means the Hiranyagarbha. In him only the Karana, Sukshma, Stula worlds are manifest, in which you and I are there, given one Upadhi, caught up in that Upadhi, living only at that level as a Jiva, tossed up because of all karma and karma phala between Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka. No, it's a very expanded subject, very huge, very large. But in many, many lives of our studying the same Upanishad, trying to analyze and understand, those subtleties will come to us. At this level, there is Taittiriya Aranyaka in the Krishna Yajurveda, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the three Vallis are there. In the Siksha Valli, we have done Shanno Mitra Upasana, Siksha Vyakyasya Upasana, Samhita Upasana, Medha Upasana, Sri Kam Upasana. Then in the Antar Upasana, we are doing the Vyahruti Upasana. In that Vyahruti Upasana, what is that? What we are familiar with and what is beyond. Bhurva Swaha, I am familiar, and the beyond is the Maha. That Maha is to be understood as Brahma. Brahma is to be understood as Atma. Maha is, I told you, greater than all these. Brahma means permeating all these. Atma is substratum of all this. Atma means without that these three cannot be there. In that way, we have to become convinced. When we become convinced in this way, where will be our attention? Our attention will be only on Maha more than Bhurbhuva Swaha. That is the revelation, liberation and detachment from. That is the liberation, mukti from the bhurvasvaha. That is what we have to achieve. The bhurvasva are only natak. It's only grass. It's only to test our ability to go beyond. If we don't get that, have the ability to go, we are caught up in that. Like in the after the teaching is done, the exams are conducted. Test only to say that have you understood it and ready for going beyond. If this alone you have not passed out means you are not fit for next class. इसलिए उन दिनों में फेल होने का उसी क्लास में बिठाते थे. Nowadays out of the prestige of the college school उसको promote करके some gradation funny system they kept so that nobody is fail. Everybody go ahead. So we are in every attempt getting failed because we are only in the Bhurva Soloka. Why we are so? We have not studied Upanishad, which alone can indicate. The Rishi indicates to us through that there is Maha. We are not going to Maha Chamasya Rishi. Then who will tell us that Maha is there? See the entire life of ours. Sthula Jagat we are living. The Sukshma Jagat, our own mind and its whims and fancies we are living. When we are tired of these two, we are going to Karana Jagat of Nidra. इतना ही हमारा हर दिन, इतना ही हमारा हर साल, इतना ही तो चला हमारा जिंदगी. He is called samsar, he is called ajnani, he is a deluded person. He is the one who is subjected to karma phala bandhana, he is subjected to the janma marana, which need not be the lot. He can transcend it, he can rise above it and come to the level of mukti where he discovers himself as Brahma, Parabrahma. Before that, through the Upasana, we are trained to see beyond and see above through your intellect. That is intellectually the thought is given. Holding on to that, we have to do Upasana. Through the Upasana is one, the wrong notions or the lesser understandings of the mind are replaced by the higher or the correct understandings. Only the whole life is mind place. In the mind, whatever the thoughts we have. We have in the mind the thoughts only about the world. Therefore, world alone appears to be real. Our involvement in the world alone appears to be the only thing. Now we are given in the mind the thoughts about the fourth Vyahuti. And that is said as Maha. And that is said as Brahma. And that is said as Atma. This is the fact and experience of Mahachamasya. For us, it is an upasana to discover that it is the fact and we have to experience that. And this upasana of first becoming aware of the Maha, Brahma, Atma, later on through contemplation is experienced as my own self. Bhurbhasva are something other than me, but the Maha is me only. But it is there, first of all, be aware of there is something called Maha other than Bhurbhasva. So to be aware of something other than Ayam Lokaha, Santariksha Loka, Svar Lokaha, that is called Aditya Loka. That Aditya, the divine bright brilliance, is the one because of these three lokas are working. So too the next one. भूरिति वा अग्निः भुवरिति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः महिति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिगंसि महीयन्ते. See, first become aware of the mantra, then what is talked about in each of the mantra, and many of the things we don't even have information about. Because our entire life we were becoming busy in finding the information only about the groceries, about the vegetables, about the fruits, about the people, about our sukha bhoga to them, about the expected things from the people. When they have not given the love, respect to me, only getting humiliated or insulted or disappointed. In this kachra only we were living. Never ever we got expressed to here. Like the people in the town villages, their only job is वो बैल को जोतना उस काट से, उसके बाद ले जाना, फिर कुछ खरीदना है तो खरीदना है, जोतना. They don't know that there is something called city, there is school and college, there are educations. In that, all the phenomena that are happening in the world are taught in the form of the subjects of physics or chemistry or mathematics. उसको पता ही नहीं, जिंदगी भर उसी में. He is in only in that daira of. In that also people, those who are goldsmiths, they are busy in gold work. Those who are ironsmiths, they are in that busy. They are pot maker, they are pot making. Those who are makers of the cloth, वो लोग उसी में. No, अपने वृत्ति में वो लोग पूरा उसी में है. because of which something other, something beyond, they are not aware. I'm just giving an example, not to say that they're all उदाहरण के लिए बता रहा हूँ, समझ गए ना? How a villager or a professional or any other person who is doing his work for his survival is not exposed to the higher possibilities of higher education. In the same way, as a jiva, you and I, because of so many reasons, forcing ourselves to live only at the earlier three Vyahrati level of Stula Sukshma Karana, therefore the beyond is not coming to our comprehension. Even we are trying to reach to that, the pull of these three worlds is so much that we are coming down only. That is why the need of the vivek and vairagya to rise above these, then only we are available for the truth, and truth is available for us. The fourth, no, that is why through the karma yoga, all that we have to do now. What is said, you know, तत्क्षयैहि विद्या प्राप्ति कर्मः. What is that? Upata durtakshayartham. That karmartham dhanam. And dhanam, you pray to the Lord through yajna, He will give you. These are all miracles that happen in the world. You need not work in an office and get salary. There were no offices earlier, but people still had what they needed for their survival. Is Ishvara Kripa when you ask Him, "Oh Lord, give me what I need, not want for my survival," so that once the needs are fulfilled, I have no greed for anything further. The entire life I will spend only in pursuing through devotion or through meditation. भगवान से तो चीटी वीटी सबको दे रहा हूँ मैं खाने को, तेरा क्या है, चले जा. He will give. Then with that minimum things required, they live like a साधु सन्यासी. घूमते हैं, जब भूख लगी कि भीख मांगते हैं, मिला तो खाया, नहीं तो नहीं, कहीं बैठ गए, they're only in meditation. But we, so many of the स्थूल सूक्ष्म शरीर are involved in. अब ऐसे सड़ाव दिमाग से how can we comprehend परमात्मा? How can we think about the possibility of the higher? From that standpoint, if we look at ourselves at such a lowest level of meaninglessness, we are living. Meaninglessness because all pursuits end up only in the disappointment that nothing is achieved or gained. Why? Because neither they are real nor they are permanent. बट ये बातें अच्छे नहीं लगते क्योंकि फंसे हुए हैं ना उसमें. डोंट प्ले द गेम्स, गो एंड स्टडी. अच्छा नहीं लगता बच्चे को, भाई ही इज फंसा हुआ इन दैट. गेट अप अर्ली मॉर्निंग, कम फॉर द क्लास. अच्छा नहीं लगता बिकॉज फंसा हुआ है नींद में. है ना, एक दिन उपवास करो भगवान के नाम पे. नो नो नो, आई कांट भाई. सो मच फॉर कॉट अप इन हैविंग 10 times food a day. This is what is awareness. This is what we should know what's happening. We should know what to achieve to. We should know how to do it. That's called spiritual evolution. And while doing so, also tamogunas attack us, rajogunas attack us, vyashti prarabdha attacks us, samashti prarabdha attacks us, and inner negativities attack us in the form of ashraddha in the guru and discontinuity of the class. Some of you, I feel so angry sometimes, whom I expect to be regular. You bunk the Upanishad class. I feel like beating you only. Then I said, such a thick skinned fellows, if I beat, I only get hurt. Therefore, I withdraw. How dare you forget morning class? Such a carelessness. अपने लिए हो रहा है सुबह का क्लास, तत्व चिंतन हो रहा है, इधर वेदांत चिंतन हो रहा है, कैसे छोड़ सकते हैं? But that is how you are. Your mind, no, I only have to accept it. That's how your prarabdha and my prarabdha that I got you, or your prarabdha that you got me. I'm telling you, knowing all of that, jailoing all of that, then still keeping consistency. Every life, little, little. Every year, little, little. Every class, little, little. So, the Vyahruti wise also, Bhu came from Bhuva, Bhuva from Suva, Suva from Maha. So, to the Upasana kala mein, first to become aware that there is Ayan Lokaha, Antariksha Lokaha, Suvar Lokaha. The connection between is there. Because of the Suvaha, the Bhuva is there. Because of the Asau Lokaha, the Antariksha is there. Because of Antariksha, the Ayam Loka is there. But forget not, or be introduced about the thing that even that I am lokaha, sorry, asau lokaha, beyond that also there is maha. So too, there is Agni, there is Vayu, there is Aditya. From the because of Vayu, the Agni is sustaining. Because of the Aditya is Vayu is there. And these three are there because of the Chandrama. Not this moon man which you see. The Chandrama में रहने वाला एक विलक्षण अधिष्ठान देवता. Then how this Upanishad Shrutimata said that it is because of Chandrama that Sarve Jyotimshi Mahiyate, we have to recognize. We have to struggle to understand, accept it. So to first become of what are the mantras and contents that are there in the mantras of Rigveda. Then do that Rigveda mantra Ukta Upasana jo bhi hai. Then go to Samaveda. Then do all the Upasana in Samaveda. Then Yajurveda and understand what is there in the Yajur mantras. Then say the Rigveda is Bhuhu, Samaveda is Bhuvaha, then the Yajurveda is Suvaha. Just like Bhu came from Bhuva, Bhuva came from Suva, Suva came from Maha. So too, the Maha is Brahma or the Omkara. So the Rigveda came from Sama, Sama from the Yajuhu, and Yajuhu came from the Brahma or the Omkara. That is why that is what we have to discover. So the glory and manifestation of Chandrama are these three Agnis. Okay, these three Jyotimshi. So to the glory and manifestation of the Omkara Parabrahma are these three Vedas. So to the glory and manifestation of that Aditya are these three lokas, Ayam Loka, Antariksha Loka and Aso Loka. So to you should know, we become aware of the prana and its functions. They are all very subtle exercises. When we should know the apana and its functions. Then the vyana, its function. Then the prana is bhuhu, apana is bhuvaha, vyana is suvaha. Then prana depends on apana depends on vyana. Then these three depend on annam. Annam is not the grass, annam we eat. The power in that, the energy in that, which is packed in the form of the anna and given to us. Annena sarve prana mahiyante. This exercise done for lot of time, after which while living for transaction purpose in the lower three Vyahrutis, yet we are fully and more aware about the fourth Vyahruti in such a way that any given moment we are able to withdraw our attention from these three Vyahrutis and focus on the fourth. That is called as this Upasana of the Vyahruti. In this way, everywhere, wherever the three are there, the attention should be on the unseen fourth. And the beauty of all that is what? When the research of the fourth is pursued diligently, finally, under the guidance of Paramatma and the guidance of Guru, we discover that whatever the fourth was said in any one of them, it is none but my own essential self. That is how we have chanted today. In the Valli, Bhrugurvai Varuni, Pidra Upasara, he said, go and do tapasya. He gave the answer, Annam, Pranam, Manaha, Jnanam, Iti. He went on doing one by one. So he said, Annam Brahme Dvijana, Tanna Deva Galidan Bhutani. He has discovered the Anna as the Atma of all. Then the Prana, then all of that. Then the Guru told, not this Panchakosha, uske andar jo hai, wo Brahma hai. And it's a beautiful scientific, well thought of, well presented technique of the rishis to lift us from my own individuality, the totality in front of, to that in whose presence both are happening. At the gross level, subtle level, and causal level. With all the millions of varieties that are in that. So I am individual, this is total. And this the gross, this subtle, the causal. The gross, subtle, causal at all individual level, and the total level. What is that from where all this is manifesting or appearing? Upanishad aims at that. And it is a study of 5, 6, 7, 8 years Vidya with sadhana. Not only study for intellectual satisfaction or curiosity or the intellectual joy. No. Beyond that sadhana. Only for intellectual joy you get intellectual understanding. But that won't liberate you. You continue remaining only as jiva, loitering in Bhurvasva, these three lokas and Vyarutis only. Sadhana. We have to discover that fourth as myself. That is why the conclusion is Atma. Everywhere Atma. Atma is the most important word. It is to be experienced as me. I am the substratum of the entire universe. Brahma is the later on. To introduce, it is said as Brahma. But that Brahma has to be discovered as Atma. After discovering the Atma alone is Brahma. This Atma is from one Upadhi set standpoint, Brahma from totality standpoint. But the one thing is one only. Qualitatively is no difference. Okay? This is what is the Upasanas. Antaha Upasana with the help of, why it's called Antara Upasana? On the seat of meditation, in the thought level, we are doing all that. तावा एताश्चतस्रश्चतुर्धाः चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः then tayo veda. Now here saveda brahma sarvesmai devaah balimavahanti. We'll focus a minute on this. Tayo veda saveda brahma. The one who is able to do this way, the upasana of the vyahrutis, in which is the substratum and which are the things which are coming out of the substratum. When one has mastered all of that, that's called a Tayoveda. He alone Saveda Brahma. He alone is the knower of Brahma. Means what? Knower of Brahma in anticipation in two forms. In those two forms, the final form is the absolute Upanishadic Brahma, the Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanavanantam, which will be told in the next Valli. Before that, the first meaning of Saveda Brahma means what? He is now understanding in the entirety the whole universe. Brahma means at this level the totality. Saveda Brahma means what? Earlier we were talking about these things and they are also mutually exclusive and sometimes only they are connected, etc. Now here Saveda Brahma means what? He is becoming aware of the simultaneously the Virat Purusha in the universal level, at the same time at every micro level also what is happening. That is the meaning of Saveda Brahma. Means what? I am walking. So when I am walking, Saveda Brahma means what? Is this walking happening independent? There is a prana shakti which is moving the legs, is it not? And why the prana shakti became active there? Because the mana told ki chalo karke. Mana instigated the prana shakti made the legs walk. But how did the mana tell? Because the buddhi decided ki wahan jana hai. Why the buddhi decide wahan jana hai? Because the aham is there who is identified with the body with the help of the buddhi and prana and the legs wanted to reach that place. The aham. No, Saveda Brahma means what? While walking, becoming aware of the walking at the same time, entire set of the things that are involved in this one particular action called as walking, when one becomes aware, Saveda Brahma. Means knowing at one go the macro also, the total level, at the same time the micro level also. Saveda Brahma. Is it not like when I open the eyes? I see the entire world in front of me. At the same time, when I asked, do you see the tree? Suddenly my attention falls on the tree. I say, yeah, I have seen the tree. Very green because of the rains. This is called the eyes power of Saveda Brahma. I at the same time, this is the whole world also in front of it, whatever its range, of course, and the contents each one of them. What is our problem? We are caught up in one or the other content. We are not observing that the content is contained in the container in its totality. The Brahma in Vedanta means looking at the whole world in one form, in one go, in one aspect. In one only so many are. So when I see few the waves of the ocean, I am only seeing the waves. But when my vision is of the Brahma, Saveda Brahma, entire universe I am seeing, same time each of the wave. So the ability in us to be able to see each of the wave and transact accordingly, same time not missing the substrate of all the waves called as universe is called as Saveda Brahma. This is first practice. Later on, who is that Brahma in whom so many multiplicities are seen? When we discuss, then we come to the Brahma of both the waves and the ocean called as the water. Water is Brahma. Ocean is the totality. The wave is the individualities in that. All individuals are there because of total. All total is because of the beyond the thing. Because without that beyond, the total cannot be, without the total, individual cannot be. This recognition is called as Upasana. At no point of the time we are feeling ourselves lonely or arrogant. We are not lonely because we are part of total. We are not arrogant because the total is catering to our sustenance and survival. Because of this, though live as individual, yet not disconnected from the total, that happening in us is called upasana. You understand? I am living as individual, but never ever disconnected from the total. More so, always connected to the total. Even beyond that, living this world of individual only for the sake of total. There comes the upasana which we talk, work for the world, work for the society. All those come from this sadhana. After that only, I'll be inquiring about what is that which is expressing both as the total and individual as well as the causal, grosser and subtler. Causal, subtler and grosser. तो व्यष्टि समष्टि के रूप में स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण के रूप में जिसको हमने दुनिया कहा, कौन है वो व्यक्त हो रहा है. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा. अथा तो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा. सी जन्मादि अस्य यतः. सी अस्य स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण व्यष्टि समष्टि जगतः जन्मादि यतः. That is called as Brahma Jignasa. I am talking about both Bhagavatam first shloka as well as Brahma Sutras first 2-3 mantras or sutras. Shastra yonitvat tatto samanvayat. Then there yato vaimani bhutan jayante. For that, this Taittiriya Upanishad only is quoted by Bhashyakara in explaining the Chatussutriya of the Brahma Sutra. So for us also, today we are becoming aware little subtler. That's why I said we will study this Upanishad slowly. Let it take time. In the first valley only we are there, never mind. Our understanding is growing. It is becoming expanding. It's becoming subtler. Let it go on. Then once the understandings and convictions grow, then when we really get convinced to know the truth, then we automatically start doing sadhana. Otherwise, without knowing the goal, without knowing all the glory of the goal, sadhana becomes a burden. It's a frustration. Or it becomes a part of the total life, not the life. Then it is not called as sadhana. It's a type of astikata. Like some people once in a while they come to class and go only to show their face to me. A type of sentiment. Swami should not feel bad. उनके आत्म शांति के लिए चलो जाकर दिखते हैं. In the same way, once in a while go to temple and just cast your vote or do your attendance. Just सरकारी नौकरी में होता था. दस्तखत कर दो फिर दिन भर कहीं भी घूमो. That's not sadhana. Totally involved, no other thing. What is other thing which is delusion, which is to be transcended one day, in which we were living so far, which is already familiar to us, which was experienced every moment as filled with only struggle and dukkha and bondage. अब इसमें कहाँ फंसना है? That is why Vyuthaya Bhaikshacharyaam Charande kicked the world, which was so familiar but catching up, or which was binding so far, and he went into the forest, closed the eyes, only did this Vyavruti Upasana and the meditation of the Brahma. That will naturally happen, not a struggle. Viveka, Vairagya, all of them should be, they are the steps in evolution, should happen effortlessly, naturally. How do they happen? When we are fed with the maturity. Who gives us that? The Guru. Where? Where we are in the satsang. Regular satsang makes all this obvious, not a struggle. If spirituality is a struggle, then better it is samsara, because samsara भी struggle है. Here it's not struggle, it is a challenge, it's an inspiration. You understand? It is taken as a goal. Goal taken with love is not a struggle, no? It's a challenge, it's an inspiration, it's a motivation. It is by choice we are doing it. कुत्ता जब पीछे पड़ रहा है, it is a struggle because a survival. But when you are running for a Olympic game, it is not a struggle, it is a challenge, it's a sport, it is an inspiration, it's an ambition, it's a goal. So life, when it is a struggle, we are in ignorance and samsara. Life, when it's a challenge and when we are putting the efforts by choice with inspiration, then we are really mature, whether it's for worldly gains, whether it's spiritual gain. By the way, one thought. Clear? So, in this way, Bhor Bhova Swaha Maha Mahiti Brahma Sa Atma. And what about the other things which were so importantly taken earlier? Because of which the main thing is forgotten. They are all Anga for this Angi. Angani Anya Devataha. Then each of the set of the Vyavritis were told. We studied it 3 4 days. Not enough. When you go to the next topic, that we forget. देखो शिक्षा व्याख्या से हम कितने जन्म हो गए भूल गए है ना वेद संहिता उपनिषद गान वेरी शनो मित्र that is how the power of delusion which not only deludes us but keeping us in the world even in spirituality so आगे बढ़ो without achieving anything of the earlier one चलता ही है दिस इज हाउ इट गोज ऑन फॉर एवरीवन आफ्टर some 100 lives then he realized अरे यार it's not completing the text it is progressing in sadhana and then we have to start from first one anyway go slowly now tayo veda saveda brahma we told you saveda brahma we were explaining we went back and came back saveda brahma he knows one brahma who is the totality macro and then Saveda Brahma in anticipation or in future the absolute ब्रह्म को जानने के लिए ये लायक बनते he joined medicine means what Saveda doctor it is anticipated it is expected unless some untoward happenings happen he'll continue his study of 4 5 6 years comes with stethoscope and white coat and then he does the doctory Saveda Brahma in anticipation in this both are there the conditions are there the inspirations are there the condition is what unless you do the inner upasanas of these vyavruti you will never be exported to the discovery of the brahma that's a condition so too the inspiration is what if you really do the inner upasanas of vyavruti definitely the brahma is available to you both ways is without doing it, it is not. Therefore, do this inner upasana of the Vyahruti, not for any gains of the world, but for the ultimate. But the gains of the world again and again are shown in the Falashruti. Don't get tempted. I told you million times, the Phala told by Shastra, Phala gained by us, having followed what said by the Shastra, only to indicate to us that we are on the path. They are not the goal. Signposts are only the indicators that you are on the path. The milestones are there. Doesn't mean that मिल गया माइंड अब रुक गए वहां नहीं चलते रहना so here also सर्वेस्मै देवाः बलिमा वहन्ति देखो all the devatas to this person who has slowly discovered the maha and even in fact identified with that maha living the life at the level of maha to him all the devatas unasked offer the bali to him अब देखो सी द जादू इन दैट और दी मजेदार बात इन दैट that in our worldly day-to-day upasana, we take all the bali and offer to the Lord. Bali means naivedyam. Pushpai pujayami naivedyam. We were offering all the, but when you do the upasana, those devatas offer to us. You understand? Just like Hanumanji When he was with the Vali or the Sugriva, useless fellows, he was only had to be a servant. But when he started working for Rama, the Devata started blessing him. Is it not? Surasa आई है शिव. Even Lankini also said तुम करोगे. हाँ सतसंगत हो गया. Thank you very much. राम काज सब करिय हऊ तुम बल बुद्धि निशान. हाँ निदान आशीष दे गई. So that was Surasa. Even Lankini also says कि you have come here to achieve. Vibhishana says everybody. Devatas bring bali to us. Sarvesmai devaha balimavahanti. Balimavahanti means what here? See the Bhashyam. Ki sarve devaha asmai means evam vidushe. The one who has become vidushi like this one. Vidushe means the one who has got this type of vidya. Vidya is a feminine. That vidya, the one who has got is called a vidwan. And that vidvata is called a vidushi. So sarvai devaha asmai evam vidushe angabhutaha. Angabhutaha. Now he has become Angi. In understanding, he has transcended all the limited and he started becoming identified with Angi. Therefore, the Angabhuta ho gaye sare devata. Avahanti, they bring Anayanti, means bring. But Balim, Vali, what Vali they bring? Swarajya Prapto. Why do they bring Bali? Because you have become the Samrat. And this Samrat, all of that will be at the end of sixth Anuvaka. I explained yesterday completely. भूलो मत पांचवा छठा अनुवाक साथ में जाते हैं. In both of them, one upasana also is only told. And therefore, some things are said in this Anuvaka, some are said that Anuvaka. दोनों मिलाकर आपको पढ़ना है. That is why when the Purva Paksha asked the question, then when it is said already Mahiti Tad Brahma Satma, again why did you say Taya Veda Saveda Brahma as if Brahma is not known there or it has to be known two times? He said, no, that was theory. And this is to give you all instructions along with the location of Brahma, where to find him. Okay, same way here, the Balimavahanti is said. Why Balimavahanti and what Balimavahanti are not told. That will be told at the end of the sixth Anuvaka as the Falashruti. There, why Balimavahanti? Because Swarajya Praptau, that he mentioned here. Swarajya Praptau is not there in the main mantra. Bhashyakara gave in Bhashya. And that Swarajya Praptau is the reason. Why do they bring Bali to him? And this is mentioned there. Apnote Swarajyam. It comes in the end of sixth Vyaharuti. Sixth Anuvaka. Now, what Bali they bring? See, Apnote Manasaspatim, Apvachaspatim, Chakshushpati, Shrotrapati, Vijnanapati, Eta Tato Bhavati Aka. There is a huge list of Falashrutis are told there. Therefore, both Anuvakas study together. And then Swarajya Prapto means we are seeing, no, when anybody, when Bhagavan Rama was made Pattabhishekta, all the Devatas, did they bring his all things or not? When Lord came in the avatar of Vamana to bless the Indian Devatas only by subjugating or suppressing Bali, every one of them came and gave the Bali to him. Anybody, when he becomes an officer, then all who are equivalent to him will have to give a different respect. है ना? ऑफिसर बनते ही फिर बदल जाता है नजरिया. When the lower level में है, the demote हो गया ऑफिसर, सस्पेंड हो गया मानो, then naturally others look at him down. So too we are living at the life of jiva with sthula sukshma karana apana ich deha. But through these upasanas, when we are living the life at higher level, which is known only to us, to the Ishvara, to our Guru, and to these devatas, obviously they bring all the Bali. This also we see in the world. Whenever we transcend individuality, start working with the totality, totality starts helping us. It's obvious. Because we are doing tadatma with them and we are doing those things which they can't do for us, they can't do. Therefore, they do for us what they can. Sarvasmai devaha balimavahanti. Okay, that is what. Sarve devaha asmai evam vidushe angabhutaha avahanti means anayanti. What balim? Why? Swarajya prapto satyam ityarthaha. Because he is now Swarajya prapto. He is at the level of Maha. Maha is Brahma. Brahma is the Atma of everyone. Iti Panchamonuvakaha. This is how the Panchamanvaka gave us the Vyahruti Upasana. It's not ended, it's only started. Academically, we are studying the Shastra and going ahead. While going ahead, we are saying, भाई हो गया. सिर्फ थोड़ा टच करने में हुआ, पूरा पढ़ने में नहीं, समझने में नहीं, साधना शुरू करने में नहीं और पूरा पहुंचने में नहीं, वो करना ही पड़ता है. इट्स लाइक व्हेन यू रीड द मेनू कार्ड इन द होटल, नॉट दैट यू हैव कंक्लूड द फूड, पर उसमें सेलेक्ट करना है, ऑर्डर करना है, वो आएगा, अब खाओगे, फिर हाथ धोगे गर्म पानी नींबू पानी में, देन यू पे द बिल, देन इट इज ओवर. मेकिंग ए मैप ऑफ द हाउस कंस्ट्रक्शन. इट्स नॉट दैट दे दिया भाई, अप्रूव हो गया प्लान, सरकार से आ गया, ठीक है, डुप्लेक्स बना दो विथ डबल बेडरूम्स, ट्रिपल बेडरूम्स एंड ऑल दैट, बन गया एक गुना प्रवेश हो जाता है क्या? नाउ यू हैव टू मेक, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल पूरे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स को उनको बुलाना पड़ता है, किसको देना है ये कंस्ट्रक्शन, देन पे लॉट्स ऑफ मनी, द थिंग्स विल कम, देन यू हैव टू डू, ऑब्जर्व ईच वन ऑफ देम, दे डू इट स्लोली स्लोली, इन 2 साल 3 साल वो बनता है. In the same way, please remember, having information is only beginning of sadhana. Having information is not at the end of sadhana. Whether it is the information about japa, information about puja, information about the guru bhakti, information about the ashtanga yoga, information of the karma yoga, or information of Upanishad vidya. कभी भी वो उस ईगो में नहीं आना कि कुछ जान लिया कि मानना है कि सब करना है, सब हो चुका है. Because you are, some of you are in that area where people know little thing and feel that they have reached and behave as if they have become Brahman. भाग गया मैं वहां से. I stayed there for 5.5 years. So that a danger you be careful about. कुछ नहीं करके सब कुछ पा चुके हैं. इन दैट स्टूपिड एरोगेंस वी शुड नॉट बी. सब कुछ करके भी अभी कुछ नहीं किया, उस लेवल में रहना है. बी ऑलवेज डाउन टू द अर्थ, एट द ग्राउंड लेवल होनी, ज्यादा उड़ने का कोशिश नहीं. अदरवाइज यू विल बी पुट डाउन ओनली बाय द लॉर्ड. That is why I tell you, all these people who do all funny social works and all types of just some theory gathered without bringing into practice anything, including little love and acceptance of the neighbors or colleagues, when they become old, after which all those social service they can't do, and all these good practices they have not done, only theory they involved, they become such a frustrated fellows, but that also they don't accept because this arrogance continues even there. There's no greater delusion than feeling proud or great after having spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge, the more we gain, the more humble it should make us. The more we sadhana we do, the more simple we have to become. Because Bhagavan is all pervading, all powerful, yet is the most humble and simple. Never get carried away. I'm telling to myself also, we just looking into Upanishads. That भगवान ने थोड़ा शक्ति मौका दिया, because we said, भगवान भगवान गिड़गिड़ा के हाथ जोड़ के पूछा, ये प्रार्थना खत्म हो गया और his blessing is over, that you just remove that interest in our heart from the Upanishad, like some of the people ran away, we also ran away. ऐसा थोड़ा सा भगवान झटका देते हैं, झटके की भी जरूरत नहीं है. थोड़ा ऐसा करते खत्म उस जिंदगी के लिए. यू नेवर गो टू द गली वेयर द गुरु एंड आश्रम और सत्संग आर देयर. नेवर खिलवाड़ करो. नेवर हैव द ईगो. ईगो मेक्स यू डू द खिलवाड़. खिलवाड़ क्रिएट्स द ईगो. Simply, humbly, throughout any number of lives we are given, go and sit at the feet of the Guru, keep studying Shastras, maintaining that humbleness, simpleness, feeling the urgent inspiration, including the restlessness, whatever the sadhana which is possible on that day, in that life, seriously, sincerely having done it, keeping it at the feet of the Lord, waiting for His orders to take. इस तरह से हमको जीते ही रहना. In all this explanation, anywhere we go little wrong, we only missing the bus. We only are missing the track. Imagine if the train misses the track, even once, the accident. After that, all the people inside the train damaged, killed. ट्रैक में ही रहना पड़ता है उसको, चाहे वो 2 किलोमीटर हो, 2000 किलोमीटर हो। 1 मिलीमीटर, 1 सेंटीमीटर में ट्रैक से बाहर आ गया, द ट्रेन derailed. We cannot derail. We have to be on the track. This is the track. Never ever imagine that 4 Vyahrti is done, or 4 Anuvakas are done, 5, or we have studied the 6th Upanishad, Siksha, Nakata, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, now in the 7th Upanishad. हम 7th उपनिषद पढ़ रहे हैं। लोग हंसेंगे, कुछ चेंज ही नहीं, सेम तमोगुण, सेम ईटिंग, सेम स्लीपिंग, सेम क्वारल विथ पीपल, सेम एरोगेंस। क्या बदल हुआ, मतलब बताओ? We should become more shy than the people who don't come to classes, because we got information but no transformation. Maintain that. And to test us, the Lord only in the form of all people come and coax us. कितना बड़ा क्या साधना किया? दादाजी आप खुद ही उपनिषद गीता क्लास के, तो फिर भी आप ऐसे बिहेव करते हो. He instigates us and then you are stunned. What you thought was, with the study of Shastra, I should be given a Shastra Ratna, like a Bharata Ratna. All that put together is slowly mature. Never, nowhere we can be taking anything for granted. Taking things for granted is tamoguna and rajoguna. A sattoguni is aware of everything to be achieved, for that everything to be done, and keeps on doing to achieve the thing. In that awareness, humble awareness of inspiration and putting the due efforts, he is in that mood. ना एरोगेंट फील करेगा, ना करने वाला साधना छोड़ेगा. That's what it is. This is what you and I, in our class, most of us are like that. All of us, why most of us, simply come to class, listen, and maintain in that mood, behave depending on the Lord. Once in a while, hour effort also, to study one shloka, know the meaning. चलता रहेगा ऐसे. Only by knowing the subject, don't think that realization has happened. And subject knowing also, we are not becoming thorough. किताबें खत्म हो रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं हो रहा. Clear? Now come to the 6th Anuvaka, which is the crux of the entire Upanishad. Beautiful one it is. So today we'll see Sambandha Bhashyam little bit, Bhagavan Shankara, and then chanting of it we do, and tomorrow we study that also. Then at a later stage, or maybe a 10-15 days बाद, जब हमारा भी दिमाग खुल जाएगा, then all the 6 Anuvaka सारांश we will see in a big picture, in a one wholesale picture. Then try to feel like we did in Mandukya, what is taught in our first of the Prakarana of Agama, then what was in Vaitathya, then why this Advaita Prakarana came, and what is there in exhaustion, the Alata Shanti, and how the Alata Shanti Prakarana is related to the Agama Prakarana's Mula Mantras. That is the meaning of studying the entire Upanishad. That's a huge thing. For that, a right place we have to be, and right attitude you and I have to be there as speaker and listener. Other than this, there is no occupation. Then only that way scholarly study we can do. ये तो 10th class LKG, is only 5th class way of study. The scholarly studies, other than the Upanishadic Vidya, nothing is minded throughout the day till that is done, wherein every mantra mastered, every topic is mastered, entire Upanishad is mastered, and having mastered it, what is the position of each of the understanding at that particular level, as well as in connection with Aage Piche, as well as in connection with the total subject. That's what mastery. Like if I study Gita, master. I should know every chapter individually. Then I should know every chapter in connection with the earlier and later. Then I should know the entire theme of the Gita. Then I should know the position of every chapter in the entire scheme of Gita. That is called the scholarly study of Gita. That you will know only when you study Bhashya ke dwara Gita. Not a one sloka here, one sloka there, किसी ने कोई quote कर दी, कर्मण्य व्याधिकारस्ते, कर्म करो व्याधि आ जाएगी. Karmani eva te adhikara. Karmani eva adhikara. Not, there's no vyadi. But this fellow is always in vyadi, so he'll say karmani eva adhikaraste. That yakara which was there nya, he'll put in the vya also. Va also. Not that way. Thorough. Why the Rajavidya Raja Yoga came in the 9th chapter? What is the connection between the 8th and 10th? We should know. That's all the beauty there. There's a connection between the eighth and ninth. Connection between seventh and ninth, not eighth. Eighth is a between thing came because Arjuna asked the question, Kim Tat Brahma Kim Adhyatmam. Therefore, Bhagavan had to explain as an answer. Therefore, but his connection is from the seventh one. That's why what is said in the seventh chapter as Para Para Prakriti, he talks them as in the ninth chapter, explains. Connection between 9 and 10th. What is the need of the Vibhuti Upasana? And what is the connection between 9 and 11? How the 10th is connecting both of them? Why the Bhakti Yoga came at the 12th chapter? How it's becoming bridge to the next level of the Jnana Kandam in which the Kshetra Kshetrajna is taught. That's so. So to every Upanishad, then it's very sublime. Like we just started talking about some elements in chemistry. Hydrogen, helium, lithium. It's only beginning. The subject of chemistry is endless. All what scientists so far know now about the chemistry is only a drop of ocean. That's it. Physics is an endless subject. It never ends. No science ends. Mathematics, it's endless. Technology, it never ends. Your medical science, वो खत्म नहीं होता. अब देखो क्या क्या कर रहे हैं. Even if they make another man like another human, still it is not an end of it. They are going to do every part they are making now. Slowly, they came up to level of transplantations. The next level will be the discovery of the genes or chromosome, whatever you call, from where each of that particular organ is developing. It will take in 100, 200 years. You can anticipate it. Then they will just instigate those cells in whatever the process which is happening in all of us. Each organ gets developed. Then they learn the art of coordinating and they make. They can do it, but the Jiva's entry they cannot do. That is all Ishvara Leela. No science can end. Science is endless. That's why the researches are going on. The astrology, the astronomy, in the astronomical field. कहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हैं पूरे अंतरिक्ष में. नो साइंस भूगर्भ शास्त्र, जल शास्त्र, वृक्ष शास्त्र, बॉटनी कहते हैं, जंतु शास्त्र, zoology. None of them end. Goes on, goes on. Never have ego. Clear? So now, in you and I, to some extent, the Bhautika Shastras we study for the survival of the life. Bhautika means the outer worldly knowledge. Later on, we come to the Adhyatmik Shastra. In Adhyatmik Shastra, the Atma Anubhava when it comes, though the other knowledges are endless, yet it is found that it is not needed. You have not eaten all the food, but your stomach is filled. Is it not? The goal is not to eat all the food. It is to fill the stomach. So too, the goal can never be achieved of knowing every science, because as a jiva you can't know. Only Ishvara knows. But by knowing the self, I get liberated. Paid bhar gaya. That's how it is. Okay. Now, Bhurvasvaswarupaha Mahaha iti etasya vyahrutatmanah brahmanah angani anyah devata iti uktam. Yasya taha angabhutaha tasya etasya brahmanah sakshat upalabdhyartam upasanartancha hridaya akasha sthanam uchyate salagramaha iva vishnoho. Tasmin hi tad brahma upasyamanam मनोमयत्वादि धर्म विशिष्टम साक्षात् उपलभ्यते प्राणमेव अमलकम मार्गः च सर्वात्म भाव प्रतिपत्तये वक्तव्यः इति अनुवाक आरभ्यते. This itself I need to take for 3 days. That much is the content in this introduction, in this avatarika, in the Sambandha Bhashya for the Shashta Anuvaka. In this is putting connection between the earlier 5 Anuvakas and giving the connection to the 6th one. This is a genius of Bhagavan Shankara. And a little to that level, not that he is a drop of him we can reach. Only when we have the Shankar Bhagavad Pada Charana Bhakti and we have taken study of Upanishad, that's a big mission of the life, the only mission of life. Not now what we are doing off beyond the Upanishad class, taking away the knowledge gained by involvement in so many unwanted things. A Upanishad student is only 2 things. For survival, what is required, that much he'll do, and the rest of the entire day he will spend only in studying, understanding, practicing, reaching the Upanishad's goal. To that we are slowly equipping in this life this much. Maybe after 10, 20, 30 lives, we may come to that level. 30 lives is very less time. वो भी बिना कोई ज़्यादा गड़बड़ किए जिंदगी में गड़बड़ करते जाओ तो फिर उस प्रारब्ध के लिए इतने लोकों में हमको भेजेंगे. And the more we trouble the world as a human to do the atonement, and also the more things we take from the people or the world, again to do the Runa Vimukti, we will be sent thousands of times onto the earth. अब वही लोग ये दुनिया में आपको दिखते हैं. Not even an iota of spirituality in them. But how vigorously busy they are. In so many works. कोई कोई बंदे तो 20-20 काम करते हैं. They have 10 factories with them. There are thousands of people working under. Means इतने लोगों से उन्होंने इतना ऋण लिया, अब इस चुका ही जा रहे हो. He doesn't know that he is clearing the debts. And while doing so, if he creates more debts, then to clear it, he'll have to come. And because of so much busyness in that life, he has not even idea that there is spirituality. Not even idea. The Tata Birlas, how famous they are in industrializing India and all. Talk to them about spirituality. Birlas very much, they are very ahead. टाटास थोड़ा मैं जानता नहीं हूँ, कोई टाटा मंदिर मैंने देखा नहीं, बट इन एवरी जिला आई सीन बिरला मंदिर. It's not Birla Mandir, it should be that Devatas Mandir, but he has sponsored. At least that much he has protected that person. Hmm. Are you understanding it? So many lives while clearing the runas, not creating new ones, while clearing prarabdha, not creating a new one. Consistently, when we apply only for the study, just like we got a sample in last 2 years. Subha, Dopahar, Sham class in between any compulsory obligations. Other than that, I'm sure from many of you, what fell on your head as a responsibility duty, you did it, but from your side, most of you have not taken any initiative from your side. That is called sadhana. Bhagwan is making us do. कोई बुलाए तो गए होंगे लेकिन खुद क्लास छोड़कर कोई गए नहीं मेरे ख्याल में. आई एम श्योर मोस्ट ऑफ यू. दैट इज द क्लियरेंस ऑफ द ड्यूज आर प्रारब्ध एंड नॉट क्रिएटिंग न्यू वन. क्योंकि स्वामी जी के क्लास में that pyar in you, that feeling in you, that's what is maturing. That is called invoking the blessing. And what made it? Only one thing, you are humble, you are simple. That humbleness, simplicity, which when we had, we thought that the people who are taking us for granted is the only one which is helping in spirituality. है कि ना, जब आप दुनिया में हम्बल रहे होते हैं ना, सर पे चढ़ते हैं, है कि नहीं, उनको लात मारना चाहिए, चढ़ने नहीं देना किसी को. वही हम्बलनेस को यहाँ लाना है. वहाँ allow the Guru to put his feet on our head so that his blessings. Anyway, it's all connected. Now let us chant the mantra. That's it. Tomorrow we'll see. It's a beautiful one. Okay, with swaras we chant. Om Saya Eshom Tara Hridaya Akashah Tasmin Nayam Purusho Manomaya Amruto Hiranmaya Antarena Taluke य एषस्तन इवावलम्बते सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठति भुव इति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिम् वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व. Chanting, कितना आनंद है. How beautiful these Upanishads, every one of them, and isme to how they are systematically guiding us through a variety of upasanas. And this one is called as Atma Vidya. This is called as Guha Vidya. It's called as Buddhi Vidya. In many places called Akasha Vidya and it's called as Dahara Vidya. दोनों मिलाकर Dahara Akasha Vidya it is called. And what it is, you need 5, 6, 7, 8 days. धीरे एक एक लाइन पढ़ेंगे. Saya esh saha yaha. Who is that saha yaha? First we will explain. Esha. Sayaha esha itself is a time taking thing. Then the Eshantar Hridaya, what is Hridaya, what is Akasha, what is Tasminaya, why Purusha, why is called Manomaya, what is Amrutamaya, what is Hiranyamaya. All of that we will study. Nicely we try to put as much as we understand, we have the vocabulary. Just be with us, together we will grow. Thank you. Om, 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 Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarashibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Vedavyasa Vaikshampayana Yagnavalkya Adya Shankaradi Gurubhyo Namaha Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha Om Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you, wonderful friends. We'll continue in 2 minutes our Vidura Niti study for some time. God bless you all. Don't miss Upanishad class.